Is 100 depth the endgame meta in FC24? The answer is yes. Keep watching to find out how. Hello everyone, welcome to another video on the FC Analyst channel. Today the formation that I'm about to share with you guys is the 4-2-2 formation, which is a formation that all of you are familiar with, but the formation is not the star of the show today. It is the custom tactics and the 100 depth to be specific. And that's what we'll be focusing on today. So why the 4-2-2 formation? As we know, the 4-2-2 is one of the oldest, most meta formations in the game that most of you are familiar with. It is a very balanced formation with several attacking options with 2 cams, 2 strikers, and we have 6 players at the back in the form of 2 CDMs and 4 defenders. The 4-2-2 is great for those first time lob passes to any of our attackers making a run through. It is also a formation that is very good for crossing because if our cams run wide, we can play a cross into our strikers. We can also use our fullbacks to make those runs down the wing and play across to either a striker or the cam. The 4-2-2 is also great for those quick passes. As we can see, we have several triangles in the attack, so those quick direct passing towards the opponent half are very effective as well. Other than that, we also have 2 CDMs which really help us defend. But like I mentioned, the formation is not the star of the show today. It is the 100 depth. And when you combine the 4-2-2 with the 100 depth, you will be unstoppable. Recently, the former world champion MS Dosari played Tex with 100 depth and the results were shocking. Now have a look guys, this is what I'm talking about. Even Tex, who is one of the best players in the world, is struggling to play against this pressure. See, Dosari makes a through ball and of course he will win because that is the meta of this game. Now see, the speciality of the 100 depth is that the pressure is so high, Tex will keep losing the ball. See, he wins the ball back and soon he loses it. And see, easy goal with R9. Some of the other benefits of the 100 depth are firstly the crazy press. Also the constant offside traps really cause trouble for your opponent to make those runs through. Using 100 depth will cause those automatic offside traps, making it really tough for your opponent to make a pass. It is also a very all-out sort of tactic, so it provides the maximum press and winning the ball back is really tough for your opponent. However, the main con of using the 100 depth is that if your opponent gets through, it will cause trouble because if the opponent makes a successful run, he will have acres of space to work with. That's why you need to be really efficient with your right stick switching. If you see your opponent making a run down the wing, make sure to manually select your fullback and cover that run as soon as possible. Because if he goes through, you will be in a lot of trouble. Now moving on to the tactics. Our defensive style will be balanced as usual. Because like I always mention, other styles are a bit risky. Like press after possession loss is it just doesn't make sense because if you're not able to get the ball back, it will leave some gaps in your defense which will be exploited by any good player. And drawback just does not make sense. Like we're discussing 100 depth, so that is clearly the meta. Sitting behind in your own box is just not an effective way to defend. So balanced is what we will go for. Our defensive width, we will go for 38. This is because we want to close down the middle. We cannot allow the opponent to freely make those passes in the middle of the midfield, so we need to suffocate him in the middle. And that's where the attack is the most dangerous because if you can get through from the middle, that's a clear shot on goal. We need to force the opponent to run wide while keeping the core, the middle of the midfield, strong and in control. Now our defensive depth is obviously going to be 100. Like I mentioned, the AI press, it is the current meta and the higher line is really effective at this moment. Build-up play is going to be balanced. We could use fast build-up or long ball, but I really don't suggest. I'd say keep it at balanced and stay safe. Now the chance creation is going to be obviously direct passing because this, like I mentioned, is the meta. Making those quick triangular passes towards your opponent's half are a really effective way to create chances. Now our attacking width is going to be 35. Well, 35 because we want the control in the middle of the midfield. Like I mentioned, attack through the midfield is the most dangerous. So we will try to attack from the midfield, make those quick triangular passes between our players, and we can use our fullbacks to provide width to our attack. Players in the box is going to be 5, or you could go for 4 if you want to be a little less risky. Our corners are going to be 1, our free kicks are also going to be 1. Now moving on to the instructions. Both our strikers are going to be mainly default, but the defensive support will be come back on defense for both of them. Similar for our right cam as well, everything default but come back on defense. Our left cam too, everything default defensive support will be come back on defense. Now our left CDM will be stay back while attacking, and this is very important. His defensive positioning will be cover center, because once again we want the control of the center. Similar for our right CDM, attacking support will be come back on defense and defensive positioning will be cover center. Our left back will be run type overlap. This is because we want him to make those overlapping runs on the outside. Lastly, a right back will be stay back while attacking and everything else will stay at default. Now as you saw in the video, the 100 depth tactic is really effective. It is really the meta at this point. You saw how it caused trouble for Tex, who's really one of the best in the world at the moment. It will definitely help you improve in the game, so I do suggest you using it, but keep in mind the disclaimer that if you're not great with your right stick switching, this can really backfire. If your opponent somehow makes a run through, it will be an easy goal for them. So use it cautiously and maybe work on your right stick switching before you try this formation in the competitive games. That's all for today. Subscribe so you can stay ahead of everyone.